this is another video. If you haven't read the title, you know what it is. The Defenders is finally out, and it was a great short season compared to the other Netflix Marvel shows. If you don't already know that, it dropped about 2:15 last night. At least where I am. That's about the time it roughly finally came on my Netflix screen, and I've been watching it, and I just finished it. So in this review, I'm just gonna say now that I might say some spoilers. So right now, spoiler warning. So if you haven't seen The Defenders, stop watching, watch it, and then come back and watch this, because there are going to be spoilers in this video, because I already know I'm going to say some stuff that I really wanted to talk about. So Marvel's Defenders, if you don't know what it is, anyway, we're going to get right into it. If you haven't seen any of the Netflix Marvel shows, there's Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and season 2 of Daredevil. And it's the culmination of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a street level form. And they do have some subtle references in the other shows to the event, and so they do have like a couple of references in Defenders, but not as many. Probably like one, maybe two, to the event, like the attack on New York City in the Avengers movie. And The Defenders, man, it's a good show, man. It's not my number one out of all the Netflix shows so far. It's probably my second one, because Daredevil season 2 is still my top tier, but this show is really fun to watch, and it's really good. And I've never super hated any of these shows that have come out so far. I've enjoyed all of them. I've enjoyed Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Daredevil, and even Defenders. And I can't wait for another show coming out later this year. Hopefully, I think it's around this year, the end of the year. So I'm excited. But The Defenders, it starts off with these these stories are separated. Like, it's just like, oh, we're gonna introduce you back to everybody after we've been off for a while, and it's really cool. And I just enjoy it. It was cool the way they set up the show. Where at first nobody's intersecting, and then eventually everybody just goes crossing paths, doing all sorts of shit, and all leads to the hand. It all leads to the hand, and Sigourney Weaver's character and stuff like that. So like, everybody's doing their own thing, but all their stuff crosses into like this big ass thing where it's all one thing, and it's really cool the way they do it. And it's a little bit fast, and I wish they would have done it a little bit sweeter, but the way they did it is not too bad either. It's pretty good. It's really entertaining. The show, you could see that they could have drug it out, and maybe they didn't drag it out for the specific reason that it might feel like the other Netflix shows where they feel too long. Like some say that some of the beginning of Iron Fist was kind of bad, and the end of Luke Cage was kind of bad. Like, not bad and like terrible, but like it drags on. And I think they learned from the past, those two, even though those two seasons were fantastic and fun. They condensed the Defenders and bringing everybody in. I mean, you see everybody that's been in the past shows almost, or at least you've heard references to them, and it's really cool the way they do it. And it's cool seeing some characters all in the same room together, and sometimes you get almost everybody in the same room. It's really cool. And it's just fun, it's interesting, and some questions, it kind of, it makes you think, some of the stuff, and, but anyway, everybody comes together, and they're arguing at first, basically, like any team-up ever, in comic books, and in the animations, and movies, where they argue, they bicker, they're not really getting along at first, and, they don't trust each other, and, basically, it's like the Avengers, it's like anything, and it's like, it's really like, oh, nobody clicked completely right away, and it's, I wish it would have been different, like Luke Cage and Iron Fist would have clicked right away, just because that would have been kind of cool if they did it that way, but they didn't, which is okay. And, but yeah, and it's cool how Sigourney Weaver's character figures out, where they are, and stuff, so, I mean, it's kind of interesting. And I'm surprised because, in some sense, nobody knows who the Devil's Kitchen is, even though some of them have seen him without his masks, the villains. And Like, I mean, the heroes know who he is, like the good guys, but the bad guys don't know who he is, and it's weird because like some of them had seen him without his mask off, like Sigourney Weaver, or like maybe Murdoch was standing too far away from her in the show, but anyway, it's really cool the way they shot this. I think I will tell you some of the best things of the series, which is including this the Netflix universe, is that they have some beautiful, elegant shots, and like like let's just say Luke Cage can be sitting somewhere, and he has his color behind him, and it's like Murdoch will be sitting, and there will be like red behind him in the background or in the forefront. Like it's like, oh, it's kind of like a Power Rangers thing, kind of, where there's some color. It's not all the time, but like there's some shots where you see them, and it's really cool, and I could sit here and break down every episode, and why would I do that? There's some pretty good YouTubers out there that break down every episode, and they'll do that for you. I'm not gonna break. I'm just gonna say stuff I thought it was cool. There's some really good choreography, better than the Luke Cage, or not the Luke Cage, the Iron Fist show. There's better choreography here. I won't say it's perfect. I think it's still not as good as the Daredevil season 2 and the season 1 choreography, but it's good. It's better than Iron Fist's season 1 choreography, and the way they use it is really, the camera angles kind of help, like the different styles of which everyone's fighting. So you don't really, what I noticed is they don't fixate on Jessica Jones fighting a lot. She's kind of like, oh, come back, and you can kind of see her off on the side of the screen doing something, and it's like, you don't look like. But then again, she's not a martial artist like some of them. But like hers, she kind of stands out even if she's in the background fighting. But the choreography is not bad. It's really good and it's enjoyable. It's better than the Iron Fist stuff. So I mean, it's like fine with me. It's 10. I won't say it's a 10 out of 10 choreography. It's probably like a 7.5, maybe 8 out of 10 for choreography, because it could be better. And we don't really have. We have this cool shot like where they finally team up and they're getting their ass handed to them. It's one of the first times they team up, they get their ass handed to them, and it's really cool. And it's cool to see them get their ass handed to them. And like the Defenders team, which they don't really get called the Defenders. They get their asses handed to them a lot in this show. I mean, it's not like any other show where like they get their ass handed to them once and then they're fucking badass. But no, these guys are getting their ass handed to them like a lot throughout the series, and it's really interesting to see how that happens. And it's mainly due to the way they work together, and they're so different, and everybody's just like, it's really cool. I like it, and just all these different storylines and kind of converging was kind of cool. And I wish we got more time dedicated to everybody, because man, is it fun. And I'm excited for the next few seasons of every character, because man, because everything kind of wraps up at a bow at the end. Like, it just makes you more excited, and I don't know, it's just really good. And then there's some sadness in this season. I mean, we lose some people. One of the biggest losses we get is Stick, and everybody from the Chase is pretty much dead at this point, besides Matt, which is not really a member of the Chase. He's just kind of trained by Stick. And the fact that we lose Stick, if you don't know, Elektra came back. She was on the side of the hand, like she's being manipulated by the hand, but in the story, it's like, it makes you want to think, like, was she being manipulated the whole time, or was she manipulating them the whole time? Because the way the story plays out, it's like, oh, he could have killed her. And so, like, Matt, like, she fights Matt a few times, and she hesitates to kill him many times. And it seems like, oh, maybe like Matt's getting through to her, but also sometimes it's like, this is just like a fan theory. It's just like, maybe she was like okay the whole time, but then there's other things like where she goes back to Matt's apartment when they're not there, and she sleeps in it, and maybe that's the point where she clicks back as Elektra. She goes back to her grave site. Maybe that clicks her back, but it also makes you think, like, what if she knew who she was the whole time, and she was just kind of playing it off like that to turn on the hand at the end. I mean, it's really crazy. It's like, I could just sit here blabber on about it, because it's like, oh, there's so many thoughts. Like, oh, she could have been, like, Elektra the whole time, but she was, like, playing two sides. Or she could have just snapped back into it at that one point, when she went to go find herself. But, like, it's crazy. It's like there's so many deaths, and Sigourney Weaver kills it as the villain, or one of the villains. As if you didn't know, there's 5 members of the Hand, 5 of the original members of the Hand, and you meet a couple of the new ones. Bakuto's one of them, which fucking I don't know what it is about Bakuto. I don't like Bakuto. He's cool, but I wish he wasn't a member of, like, one of the 5 top members of the Hand, but whatever. And then we meet some two other guys who we really haven't seen before, and it's kind of dumb that they pushed them in. I wish they would have built him up somehow, like, better. They kind of just get shoehorned into Defenders. I wish they would have built up all the members of the Hand and just, like, brought them out at certain points, like villains of certain seasons, or at least, built them up more. Like, Bakuto was an Iron Fist, and Madame Gao has kind of been relevant through a couple different stuff. So I mean, I wish the other 2 would have got that, and it's okay because those dudes are fucking dead. It doesn't matter, at least as far as I know, they're dead. And Madame Gao, you get to see some shit. You get to see some shit from the 5 members of the Hand. They're really strong, and that's outside is that the top 5 members of the Hand. They know their shit. They're really strong, and they're hard to stop. Madame Gao is fucking. She's even stronger in the Defenders than she was in the past ones. You just get to see full-fledged what she can do almost, and it's just really cool to see the backstory of, like, where the Hand comes from, that they were from Kunlun and stuff like that, and in the show. And it's just, oh man, it's so good. I like it. I enjoyed it. It's cool seeing more. It ends so fast. Like, once you're done, you're just like, fuck, I'm already done. God damn. Which happened to me. I wish I wasn't already done. I wish I had some more stuff to watch. And after this, I'm probably gonna jump on Supernatural again. I'm on season 9 and stuff. I got Mark into it as well. But he's gonna watch Defenders then, so I'm gonna be really far ahead from him on that. But man, this show is just, it's fun, it's really good, it's very entertaining. It's not the best of the Netflix Marvel Universe. I still think Daredevil season 2 is still my top tier, but this isn't a bad show, so don't take it as a bad show. I loved it. I'm one of those people who can like it and appreciate it, and it's really good, and I'm glad we're getting shows like this because it's beautifully shot and beautifully written. It's not the most complex story, but it's also really fun, and it has stuff that fans want to think, and also has Easter eggs. There's a bunch of Easter eggs and nods and things like that. And I really like Iron Fist in this season, man. I hope people like him more in Defenders than they did, than a lot of people did in the Iron Fist show. I really like, really good, and Colleen Wing is always good. And it's just fun. It's fun to seeing everybody team up and just get together and seeing, like, the progression of, like, even the side characters kind of becoming like a group and talking and stuff. It's really fun, and we get to see some stuff happen. The Misty Knight, awesome character. She's back. It's just great seeing so many people, and, like, the foundations of, like, there's so much things about foundations. There's, like, the foundations of the Hand, foundation of the Defenders, foundations of the Chase, and just this war, and it's just fun. And then the mystical, where, like, Luke Cage doesn't understand mystical when you don't really have to understand mystical. And there's just so much overall stuff that you could learn. You could soak up this information. It's like, I could watch this again and probably get something new the next time I watch it, because that's what it felt like to me. This is just after my first viewing, obviously, and we see things happen, and it's just cool. And then I couldn't go on and on and on. And there's some great fight sequences, and it's just really good to watch. And I'm gonna get to this last episode. 2 episodes are like the meat, and, like, if you wanted to just watch, like, an hour or 2 of the show, watch the last 2 episodes of the show, because god damn it, the last 2 episodes really kill it. And it's all about the Daredevil and it's all of them getting together and stopping the Hand, and it's just really cool. You finally get to see the culmination of the entire season right here, and it hits you in the face. It's really good, and I just loved it. It was really good seeing the actual ending to this Defenders show, and, like, what we've been building up to for, like, the past year or 2 years or so. And it's just, oh man, seeing that fight sequences, seeing Madame Gao fighting them, and just like all of it. And you have like Karen Page and everybody's doing different things. And Foggy had helped Matt get his suit in a couple episodes for these last 2 episodes, and it's just cool seeing people change throughout the course of the Defenders show, and stuff that I wasn't expecting. Some of the stuff I wasn't expecting, like the fact that what they are using that the hand need the Iron Fist, and things like that. So I mean, it's just crazy to see like the stuff they decided to do with the show, and it's really cool. From my point of view, I thought they were going to do something different with the show, and they did something completely different. There are some twists. One of my favorite twists in the show is that Elektra turns on the hand and kills Sigourney Weaver, the leader of the hand, and it's just cool that I wasn't expecting. I was like, what the fuck? Was not expecting her to do that, and it was really cool to see that happen. And even Elektra just like saying, "Oh, I remember who I am," things like that. It made me think a little bit, and it was really cool seeing that. And it was great seeing Sigourney Weaver, like such a high tier actor, come to this show. I mean, everybody in this show is kind of like really great actors. Some people from Game of Thrones, some Kristen Ritter, she was in like Breaking Bad and all sorts of stuff, and like these people. But then they get somewhere like that. I hope they continue to get talent, because there's nothing that hurts about getting talent, especially people like Sigourney Weaver or anybody else they decide to bring into the show, because there's like so many good people from different things, and like it's cool to just elevate your product. And just man, the twist. I mean, even then, like at the end, Daredevil lets the Defenders go. He stays to fight Elektra, and he doesn't. He had has no intention of coming back from this fight with Elektra. And they're fighting, and then the building collapses, and I just like. And you can feel it, like if you're a fan, you could feel like everybody, like the Defenders feel, and you're just like, the Devils of Hell's Kitchen is dead, and it's just, oh man, it's like the best part. It makes you feel, at least it made me feel, especially if you watch like the Daredevil seasons, and it made you feel because you think he's gone, and it's just crazy. And then like you see like the outros, kind of like everybody's like ending, like Jessica Jones, she rips her friend, forgot his name, the black dude. He's like filling the walls in her room. He's like, "You're almost ready to open up for business." And anyway, she rips off the cardboard on her door, and it's the Alias Investigations window that's on it still. And she closes the door, and it's like, oh, that's setting up the next season of Jessica Jones. And then like Luke Cage is like ready to do his thing, and he meets up with Jessica Jones in a bar eventually in the show, in this, and like it's just like leaving all these doors opening many doors for the next few seasons for everybody. And then Iron Fist and Colleen are kind of just talking, and then like it feels like they're all setting up different things for different seasons that are coming up, and it's leaving doors open for everyone. Like it's leaving doors open for Heroes for Hire. It's leaving doors open for Alias Investigations. It's leaving a lot of doors open. And then at the end, even though we think Matt Murdock is gone, the Devil's Hell's Kitchen. Before it fades there, anyway, I'm going to show you this really great shot. Is the Iron Fist is sitting on the top of a roof. The Empire State Building is red, symbolizing that we lost the Devil's Hell's Kitchen. I don't know if it's just a subtle Easter egg, or if like maybe the city is aware that the Devil's Hell's Kitchen gave us life. But anyway, it's just a great shot of like the Empire State Building, red, and it's just like a symbol. In my opinion, it was a symbol for the Devil's Hell's Kitchen that we lost him. And then but you see Danny Rand with physical things on top of a roof. I feel like in this season, Danny can't control his anger even more. Like he says, like Danny can't control his emotions, and I feel like even though we just learned that he should control his emotions in Iron Fist, here he is in Defenders not controlling his emotions. Just saying. And anyway, but then we see a hospital bed, and I was like, oh my god! And guess who's in the hospital bed, or in this like religious hostel or whatever it is? I don't know. Religious place, and Matt Murdock is laying there, beaten, bruised. He made it out. Somehow he made it out. I don't know if like Lecter drug him out, or someone else drug him out, or he escaped somehow. But he's there in this bed at this religious hospital or whatever it is, and he's there. So if he made it out, Elektra made it out. So it's just like it leaves that door so open for the next season of Daredevil, and just everybody. And then like, oh man, it's just I could talk about so much stuff, and it's just like, there's just stuff popping out at me, and it's already 20 minutes long. It's like, god damn it. And then at the end of the credits, watch through the credits. At the end is a trailer, basically trailer for Punisher. And it's just all these different things of what we're going to expect from the Punisher show. And it's nothing related to Defenders. It's just kind of like a trailer tacked on at the end of the credits for Defenders. And it's really cool seeing like these shots from the show, and it kind of gives you like an idea. It's like Frank is just smashing into concrete to make a skull. Oh, it gets you more excited for what's coming next for the world of Marvel in Netflix. And I hope, even though Disney said they're going to break their partnership with Netflix, they as far as I know, they're not going to break the Star Wars and Marvel relationship, just the Disney stuff, like the animated Disney Pirates of the Caribbean stuff, but they're going to keep that stuff here on Netflix. At least I hope so, because these Marvel shows need to keep going in some way, shape, or form. These are just so good, so much fun, and I think it got some views for it. We're having these great stories being told, these great everything, I'm enjoying them. I think other people are too. And I think like just by the numbers of crashing the servers on its own, like the Iron Fist crashed the servers and had things like that, where like they have so many people watching these things. Keep going. These things are really great. They're really entertaining. They're really fun, and everyone's enjoying them. And so much different. Something that we weren't going to expect from Disney, what they were going to do with Marvel. And like this culmination of like its own universe, and just everything is like here, and then there's the main universe, and then there's TV, there's the movies, there's Netflix, and then there's gonna be like Hulu universe and stuff like that, and it's just like everything is just culminating, and it's a really great time to be a comic book fan. We're getting so many different things. We're getting Marvel movies, we're getting DC movies, we are probably getting Spawn, we're getting all these animated features from DC and Marvel, even Cartoon Network, Cartoon Network, Teen Titans Go. We're getting the Warner Brothers stuff on their own website. We're getting Hulu for like Runaways, and we're getting, and like, oh, there's like so many different things we're getting. Like, we're getting so much stuff, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. We just hit like the top. Like we still have like hundreds of things probably are left to come out, and probably plans that by the time I'm old or even passed away, there's gonna be years worth of these things, and I'm just happy that I get to see some of this stuff come to be like I've seen the progression, like the beginning of the era of like the comic book movies, like the beginning of like the great era, like when I was a kid, I got to see like all these great movies, Batman and Robin, which wasn't great. Then we got to X-Men and Blade, and then like we got to the MCU, and then now we're like all the way up here with stuff, so much stuff that it's making me happy because it's stuff that I get to watch, like way more stuff that I would get to see. Comics wise, movie wise, TV wise, we're getting all this stuff, and I can't wait for more because, man, it's great. But yeah, Defenders is a great show. I give it probably an 8 out of 10. It's my second favorite of the series, but it could be better. And I enjoyed it. It's really good. The acting was great. I loved it. The culmination, it could have been better, but I loved it. And it's just, that's all that matters to me, is that if I had fun enjoying it, it was great. It follows the story. I had fun. That's for me. An 8 out of 10 for me. I loved it, and could be great. And this is just the first step. And I think they're going to learn a lot of stuff from what they've been doing, and we're going to see that in the next few years to come for what we're going to see. And I hope we get to see like Punisher, see how that does. Maybe we finally get Marvel Knights when we come back to Blade, and we do Moon Knight and do things like that. So who knows, man. But I want to know your thoughts about Defenders. If anybody sees this video, if you want to tell me your thoughts on Defenders, let me know down there. I would love to know if you agree with me, or if you hated it, or if you liked it even more than I did. What do you think worked for the show, and worked against the show? What did you hate? Do you think they could have done something different? I don't know. But I want to know everyone's opinions down in the comments if anybody cares. I know me and Mark are probably going to talk about it in the future. Maybe for Bloodcast, maybe for something else. I don't know, but because it's just something we want to talk about, and this could be like the end of the first phase of the Netflix thing, and we could talk about it. At least most of it. He hasn't seen it. Jessica Jones, like most of it. So I mean, he's slacking, but he doesn't like it, so I can't blame him. But I love, like he doesn't like Jessica Jones. I like it, so I mean, hopefully me and him can get a Bloodcast going, at least around some of the stuff, and maybe I'll just explain to him what the plot of Jessica Jones is. Which is not much. It's really hard. It's be really easy to explain to him what happens in Jessica Jones. But yeah, maybe we'll talk about more of it in the future. And this is just kind of like me rambling on and review. You feel free if you liked the video, like it. If you didn't like it, thumbs down. If you don't give a fuck, flip me off down there in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Check out the other videos. Why not? So yeah, check you next time.